Oh, my chin. There we go. Hello. I'll be honest, it's been like 2 weeks since I made a video, and I apologise, I've been very busy. But first of all, I really want to thank Elena from Elena Reads Books. She gave me a shout out a couple of weeks ago, and she said some really nice things, like really kind words. So thank you very much for the shout out and for saying such lovely things about my channel. She said it was articulate, which I've got to tell you, the secret is editing. Stringent editing. I kind of wanted to pass it on because I've received 2 shout-outs, and I kind of want to share the love, as it were. I don't tend to find new booktubers or good booktubers by myself, unless I see someone doing a shout-out, and then I take their word for it, because it tends to be from a YouTuber that I trust. Shout-outs are like a really great way to let the community know about other members of the community. So I want to give a quick shout out to the restricted section. It's a booktube channel from 2 ladies called Meg and Sue, who do videos together and separately. They have an absolutely great taste in books between them, and their personality and their rapport when they're chatting together. That's not the word. Chatting together, talking about books, about genres, about authors is really fun to watch, and they have a great taste in books. Please do check them out. There's a link below. So today I'm reviewing a book I read last week called The Messenger by Markus Zusak. Now, Markus Zusak is a phenomenal writer. He wrote The Book Thief a couple of years ago, but for me, The Book Thief was one of the best books I've read. It's so... it's like the writing style is just impeccable and interesting, and the story was heartbreaking. There was so much pathos that he could put into words. An incredibly gifted writer. And I've wanted to read something else by him for a while, so I picked up The Messenger, or I Am the Messenger, based on the country of publication. The obvious thing to do is to draw a comparison between this book and The Book Thief. I don't really want to do that, mostly because The Book Thief is an incredible book, and I feel bad for writers like Markus Zusak when they come up with something so unique and so original. Everything else they do will always be compared to it, so I'm not going to compare it to The Book Thief. I'm just going to talk about this book. It is about a guy called Ed who lives in Australia, but you wouldn't think it because they don't really say it's Australia. So Markus Zusak lives in Australia, and Garth Nix is Australian, and they both have books where they talk about the city and out of town and very vague locations that people can realise and recognise without it being a specific place. The actual location isn't important. If you start talking about New York, for example, you have to bring New York, the personality of the city, into the book. So Ed is a taxi driver, and he kind of accidentally on purpose foils a bank robbery. Out of kilter for him. He's not normally a stand-up kind of guy, he melts into the background. But all that changes with this bank robbery, because suddenly he starts getting playing cards in the mail, like the Ace of Spades and the Ace of Hearts. And on those is written clues or addresses for him to find people and help people. And it's really cleverly done, because it doesn't necessarily say you have to help this person, but he gets a card with an address, he goes to the address, he sees there's someone there who needs help, and he realises he's been chosen by someone to help these people. The book progresses then with him finding more playing cards, getting new people who he has to help in some way. Some of them, it's a really big gesture that he has to do. For others, it's something really small that can just brighten someone's day. And the idea is that you have to be part of your community, and that you have to show kindness to your fellow man. You have to show kindness to strangers, which I think is such a beautiful, wonderful concept, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. There's a theme going through the book of who is sending these messages, and that's a natural thing for Ed, the character, to think. I didn't care. I don't think it's important who is sending the messages. When you find out who's sending the messages, I couldn't care. Because for me, it's not important who was giving him these messages. It was important that he was doing these nice things, that he was learning as a person, and he was growing as a person, influencing people's lives in really small ways or in really big ways. But whatever he was doing, there was an impact on not only the person he was helping, but on himself, the community, his relationships with his friends. And in some ways, I think of it like if you got £1 million as an inheritance from a long-lost uncle. What matters more? Who the uncle was, or what you're going to do with that money? If you're going to invest it, or spend it, or give it away, and who to? That's more important than this dead guy who was very nicely generous in his will. If I do have any long-lost uncles who are watching, or indeed anyone who is flush with cash and could be a long lost uncle, build me into your family tree some way and write me into your will, because that would be really nice. Off topic. The overall message of this book is to be kind to others, to impact your community in a good and caring way. And that fits in with my philosophy of life so well. This is a book actually that kind of reaffirmed that and made me want to be nicer to people. It made me want to impact the lives of others, even in small ways. In the words of the writer, it's about small things that are big. Little tiny things that you can do for someone that mean so much more. They're more than the sum of their parts. So for me with this book, I learnt a lot, and it really kind of made me want to be a better person. The writing style, I have to talk about the writing style. It's gonna be a long video, gotta talk about the writing style. The writing style of Markus Zusak is incredible. The writers I know, his use of metaphor and imagery is beautiful. It's just really pleasurable to read. Even the most mundane things and experiences and feelings are given this rose-tinted, beautiful imagery by him. I'm gushing rather badly. And there's a great personification to his language. The way that he describes things in a very active way, like voices from the radio blur and reach out, words like arms that land and rest heavily on Richie's shoulders. That tells you so much more than a paragraph describing how he's feeling. That one line is really well written. I think that Markus Zusak is a bloody genius. I do. Anyway, that's I Am the Messenger, or The Messenger by Markus Zusak. It's an incredible book. I really encourage you to read it, especially if you like poetic language, especially if you like The Book Thief, especially if you like uplifting stories. 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing book. If you've read it, please let me know in the comments, or if you're a fan of Markus Zusak, if you can recommend his other books, please let me know, and thank you very much for watching.